The massive ships moved through space like floating cities. 12 vessels of the Galactic Council's diplomatic fleet traveled toward the small yellow star that humans called Sol. Ambassador Zix Thara stood on the bridge of the flagship, her crystal body catching the light from the viewing screen. She had done this many times before. First contact with primitive species was routine work. "How long until we reach their home system?" she asked her aide, a furry creature named Bektor from the Melanian species. 3 standard days, Ambassador," Bektor replied, checking his data pad. "Our scouts confirm they have achieved basic faster-than-light travel. Very recent development, maybe 30 of their years." Zixathera nodded. It was always the same pattern. Young species would discover space travel, venture a few light years from their home, then the Council would find them. After that came decades of careful guidance, teaching them about galactic civilization, preparing them slowly for possible membership. Most species needed at least 2 centuries of supervision. "Any signs of advanced technology?" she asked. "Nothing concerning," Bektor said. "Basic fusion power, simple gravity manipulation, primitive weapons. Standard level for a species this young." The bridge crew worked quietly around them. Everyone knew their jobs well. The Council had perfected first contact procedures over thousands of years. They would approach peacefully, demonstrate their advanced technology, then begin the long process of education. It was efficient and safe. "Ambassador," called the communications officer, a tall being with blue skin. "We are receiving a transmission." Zixthera felt surprised. They were still 2 light years away from the human home system. How could the humans detect them at this distance? Their technology report said nothing about long-range sensors that powerful. "Put it through," she ordered. The main screen flickered, then showed a human face. The creature had pale skin, dark hair, and wore what appeared to be a military uniform. Behind the human, Zixthara could see what looked like a spaceship bridge. "Greetings," the human said, speaking perfect galactic standard. "I am Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earthship Defiant. We have been waiting for you." The bridge fell silent. Zixthara felt her crystal structure grow cold with shock. The human had just spoken galactic standard, the universal language that took most species decades to learn. How was this possible? "Waiting for us?" Zixthara managed to say. Captain Vasquez smiled. "We detected your fleet 3 weeks ago. We know you are from the Galactic Council. We have prepared a proper welcome." Bektor dropped his datapad. Around the bridge, crew members stared at their instruments in confusion. 3 weeks ago, the Council fleet had been in deep space, using their best stealth technology. No primitive species should have been able to detect them. "How did you—" Zixthera began. "We have much to discuss," Captain Vasquez interrupted politely. "We have prepared meeting facilities at the edge of our solar system. My government is very interested in formal diplomatic contact." The screen showed more of the human's bridge. Zixathera noticed the technology looked surprisingly advanced. The displays were clear and bright. The equipment appeared well designed. This was not what she expected from a primitive species. "We will arrive at your location in 2 days," Zixthera said, trying to regain control of the situation. "We look forward to beginning the standard first contact procedures." Captain Vasquez nodded. "We have studied your procedures. Very thorough. We believe we can skip some of the preliminary steps." Studied their procedures? How could humans know about Council first contact methods? Those documents were classified, available only to Council members. "I see," Zixthera said carefully. "We will discuss this when we meet." "Excellent. We will have representatives ready. I should mention, we have prepared translation systems, but they may not be necessary. Many of our diplomats speak Galactic Standard fluently." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Zixthera looked around at her crew. Everyone appeared as confused as she felt. "Run a full scan of their transmission," she ordered. "I want to know everything about their technology level." The next hour brought more surprises. The human transmission had been sent using quantum entanglement communication, a technology most Council species took centuries to develop. The signal showed signs of advanced encryption and data compression. Most disturbing of all, the humans had somehow masked their actual location during the transmission. "Ambassador," the science officer reported, "their communication technology is at least equal to our own, possibly superior." "That cannot be correct," Zixthera said. "Check your instruments. I have checked 3 times. The readings are accurate." Bektor approached with his repaired datapad. Ambassador, I have reviewed our intelligence files on this species. Everything we know says they should be primitive. Basic technology, simple social structures, no knowledge of galactic civilization. Then our intelligence is wrong, Zixthera said grimly. Over the next 2 days, more strange reports came in. Long-range sensors detected unusual energy signatures throughout the human solar system. There were signs of massive construction projects, artificial gravity wells, and what appeared to be a significant military presence. How many ships do they have? Zixthera asked. Difficult to determine, the sensor officer replied. They are using stealth technology that interferes with our scans. We can confirm at least 50 vessels, but there may be many more. 50 ships for a species that had supposedly just developed space travel? The Council's own first contact fleet was considered large with 12 vessels. As they approached the meeting point at the edge of the solar system, Zixthera saw something that made her crystal structure dim with shock. A human fleet waited for them, arranged in perfect diplomatic formation. The ships were beautiful, sleek designs that seemed to blend art with function. At the center sat a massive vessel that was clearly designed for negotiations. They built a diplomatic station, Bektor whispered. In 3 weeks. The construction was impressive. The station showed all the features of advanced Council diplomatic facilities, multiple docking ports, cultural accommodation areas, advanced life support systems. It would have taken most species months to build such a structure, even with Council assistance. Captain Vasquez appeared on the screen again. Welcome to Sol Station Alpha. We have prepared docking facilities for your entire fleet. Our diplomatic team is ready to begin discussions. Thank you, Zixthera replied, though she felt anything but grateful. Nothing about this situation made sense. As the Council ships docked with the human station, Zixthera noticed more disturbing details. The docking systems were perfectly compatible with Council ship designs. The humans had somehow known exactly what they would need. The airlock opened and Captain Vasquez stepped through, followed by 2 other humans. One wore civilian clothes and carried himself like a diplomat. The other appeared to be a scientist or advisor. Ambassador Zixthera, Captain Vasquez said, extending her hand in what Zixthera recognized as a human greeting gesture. It is an honor to meet you. I am Captain Elena Vasquez. This is Dr. James Chen, our senior diplomat, and Dr. Sarah Williams, our xenobiology specialist. Zixthera accepted the handshake, noting that the human had correctly pronounced her name despite its difficulty for most species. The honor is ours, she replied formally. Though I must admit this meeting is not proceeding as we expected. Dr. Chen smiled. We understand this must be confusing. We have much to explain. Perhaps we could begin with a tour of our facilities. We believe you will find them adequate for extended discussions. As they walked through the station, Zixthera saw technology that should not exist. Gravity generators that worked more efficiently than Council models. Communication systems that seemed to operate on principles she did not recognize. Most shocking of all, she saw artwork and cultural displays from dozens of different species, including some she had never seen before. The humans, it seemed, knew far more about the galaxy than they should. The diplomatic meeting room on Sol Station Alpha was unlike anything Ambassador Zixthera had seen before. The humans had created a perfect environment for multi-species negotiations. The gravity could be adjusted for each delegate, the atmosphere was carefully controlled, and the furniture adapted to different body types. Most impressive were the cultural touches. Artwork and symbols from dozens of galactic civilizations decorated the walls. Dr. James Chen sat across from the Council delegation, looking completely comfortable despite being in his first official contact with galactic civilization. Next to him, Dr. Sarah Williams operated a translation device, though it seemed unnecessary since all the humans spoke perfect galactic standard. We appreciate you taking the time for these discussions, Dr. Chen began. We know the Council has many responsibilities across the galaxy. Zixthera leaned forward. Dr. Chen, we must address something immediately. How do your people know galactic standard? How did you build this station with perfect compatibility to our ships? These things should be impossible. Dr. Chen exchanged a glance with his colleagues. We have had time to prepare. Time to prepare? Bektor interrupted. Your species only achieved faster than light travel 30 years ago. Our intelligence reports show no prior contact with galactic civilization. Dr. Williams smiled. Your intelligence reports are incomplete. The words hit the council delegation like a physical blow. Zixthara felt her crystal structure grow cold. The council's intelligence network was the most advanced in the galaxy. They monitored primitive species carefully, watching for signs of technological development. How could they have missed something this significant? Explain, Zixthara demanded. Dr. Chen activated a holographic display. The room filled with a three-dimensional map of local galactic space. Zixthara recognized the familiar territories of council member species. But there were other markings on the map, areas colored in blue that she did not recognize. These are the territories we have explored in the past 20 years, Dr. Chen said calmly. We have made contact with 43 different intelligent species. Bektor stood up so quickly his chair fell over. Impossible. We monitor this entire region. We would know about any new species contact. You monitor council space, Dr. Williams corrected. The galaxy is much larger than your territory. Zixthara stared at the map. The blue areas covered vast regions that the council had either never explored or had written off as empty space. According to this display, humanity had been active across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. Show us your evidence, she said. Dr. Chen touched the display, and new images appeared. Photographs of human diplomats meeting with alien species. Documentation of trade agreements. Records of cultural exchanges. Most shocking of all, images of human ships working alongside vessels from civilizations Zixthara had never seen before. This is the delegation from the Keth Mori Imperium, Dr. Chen said, pointing to an image of tall, elegant beings with silver skin. We established formal relations with them 8 years ago. Zixthara gasped. The Keth Mori Imperium was legendary among council species. They were incredibly advanced, technologically superior to most council members, but they had refused all contact attempts for over 1,000 years. The council had given up trying to reach them centuries ago. The Keth Mori do not speak with primitive species, she said weakly. They speak with equals, Dr. Williams replied. We offered them something the council never could. Genuine partnership without demands for submission to your authority. More images appeared on the display. Human scientists working with crystalline beings in advanced laboratories. Human artists creating works alongside 6-armed creatures with beautiful iridescent skin. Human children playing with young aliens in what appeared to be cultural exchange programs. This is the Nexus Collective, Dr. Chen continued, showing images of humans meeting with a group of species that seem to exist as both individuals and a group mind. They have been extremely helpful in developing our communication technologies. The Nexus Collective was another species the Council had failed to contact. They lived in the outer regions of the galaxy and had shown no interest in outside contact. Yet here were humans clearly working closely with them. How? Zixthara asked, her voice barely a whisper. How did you accomplish what we could not? Dr. Chen's expression grew serious. We listened. We learned. We offered friendship instead of membership requirements. We shared our culture instead of demanding they adopt yours. The words stung because they contained truth. The Council's approach had always been to bring species into their established order, requiring them to follow Council laws, adopt Council technology standards, and accept Council oversight. It was efficient, but it was not always welcomed. We studied your methods extensively, Dr. Williams added. You have detailed records of every first contact attempt, every failed negotiation, every species that rejected Council membership. We learned from your mistakes. Our records are classified, Bektor protested. Not classified enough, Dr. Chen said with a slight smile. The Vorthan archive contains copies of most Council documents. They were happy to share them with us after we helped them resolve their territorial dispute with the hegemony of suns. Zixthara did not recognize either of those names. The galaxy, it seemed, was full of civilizations she had never heard of. The holographic display changed again, showing star charts with detailed navigation routes. These were not the simple paths between nearby systems that a young species should know. These charts showed hyperspace corridors across thousands of light years, hidden passages through dangerous nebulae, and shortcuts that could cut travel time by weeks. We have been trading across 17 different economic networks, Dr. Chen explained. The galactic economy is much more complex than Council territories suggest. This is overwhelming, Zixthera admitted. Our entire understanding of galactic civilization appears to be wrong. Dr. Williams nodded sympathetically. The Council controls about 12% of inhabited galactic space. You have been very successful in your region, but you have also become isolated. Many species know about the Council but choose not to make contact. Why? Vector asked. Bureaucracy, Dr. Chen said simply. Your application process for membership takes an average of 140 years. During that time, applicant species must follow Council regulations without having any voice in creating them. Most species find the process unacceptable. Zixthera felt something she had never experienced before, doubt about the Council's methods. They had always believed their approach was best for galaxy-wide stability and progress. But these humans had achieved in decades what the Council had failed to accomplish in millennia. What do you want from us? She asked. Dr. Chen smiled. We want to be friends. We want to trade. We want to share knowledge and culture. We want to work together to solve problems that affect everyone. And Council membership? Zixthera asked. We are not interested in joining the Council as it currently exists, Dr. Williams said diplomatically. However, we would be very interested in discussing a partnership between equals. The room fell silent. Partnership between equals. No species had ever suggested such a thing to the Council. The entire structure of galactic government was based on the Council's authority over less advanced civilizations. I need to consult with the Council leadership, Zixthera said finally. Of course, Dr. Chen replied. Take all the time you need. We are patient. As the meeting ended and the Council delegation returned to their ship, Zixthera's mind raced with implications. If everything the humans claimed was true, then the galaxy was a very different place than she had believed. The Council, for all their power and technology, might actually be the ones who were behind the times. That night, as she prepared her report for the Council leadership, Zixthera realized she was about to deliver news that would shake the foundation of galactic government. The humans were not a primitive species in need of guidance. They were potentially the most successful diplomats the galaxy had ever seen. Ambassador Zixthera had barely slept since sending her initial report to the Council leadership. The response had been swift and clear. Prove the human claims or dismiss them as elaborate deception. The Council High Command refused to believe that a primitive species could have achieved what humans claimed. She stood on the bridge of the Council flagship, looking out at the peaceful human solar system. Everything appeared normal. A yellow star, several planets, the usual signs of a developing civilization. But if the humans were telling the truth, appearances were very deceiving. Ambassador, Captain Vasquez's voice came through the communication system. We are ready for your requested demonstration. Are your sensor arrays prepared? They are ready, Zixthera replied, though she felt anything but ready for what might come next. Dr. Chen appeared on the main screen, standing on the bridge of a human vessel. Before we begin, we want to assure you that this is purely a demonstration. We mean no threat to your fleet or your people. Vector moved closer to Zixthera. Ambassador, our sensors show only the ships we have already identified. Perhaps their claims are exaggerated after all. Zixthera hoped he was right, but something in Dr. Chen's confident expression made her doubt it. Computer, Dr. Chen said to his ship's systems, execute Demonstration Protocol 7. For a moment, nothing happened. The space around them looked exactly the same. Then the sensor officer at the Council ship's tactical station gasped. Ambassador, new contacts appearing on all sensors. The main display lit up with red dots as the ship's computer identified new vessels. 10 ships became 20. 20 became 50. 50 became 100. The numbers kept climbing as more and more human vessels dropped their stealth systems and revealed themselves. This is impossible, Vector whispered. But it was not finished. Larger signatures began appearing on the sensors. Massive vessels that had been completely invisible moments before materialized throughout the solar system. Some were clearly warships, bristling with advanced weapons systems. Others appeared to be massive construction platforms or mobile space stations. Current count is 412 vessels, the sensor officer reported, his voice shaking. Several are larger than our flagship. Zixthera stared at the display in shock. The human solar system contained a fleet larger than most Council member species possessed, and they had kept it completely hidden until now. Dr. Chen's image remained calm on the screen. This is our home defense fleet, We maintain similar forces in 17 other systems. 17 other systems, Zixthara managed to say. Our colonial expansion has been quite successful, Dr. Chen replied. We have established permanent settlements and defensive positions throughout local space. The sensor readings continued to shock the Council crew. The human ships used technology that was clearly superior to standard Council designs. Their stealth systems were more advanced than anything in the Council database. Their energy signatures suggested power sources that operated on principles the Council did not fully understand. But this is not the most important part of our demonstration, Dr. Chen continued. Computer, activate guest protocol. New ships began appearing on the sensors, but these were different. The designs were unfamiliar, using architectural principles that no Council species employed. The energy signatures were unlike anything in their databases. Greetings, Council representatives, came a new voice over the communication channel. The translator struggled with the language, indicating it was from a species not in the Council database. I am Fleet Commander Zarthek of the Kethmori Imperium Deep Space Division. Zixthara felt her crystal structure dim, almost to black. The Kethmori Imperium was here, in human space working with humans. We are honored to meet representatives of the Galactic Council, the Kethmori commander continued. The humans have told us much about your organization. More voices joined the communication channel. Species after species introduced themselves, each one unknown to the Council. The Nexus Collective sent greetings through their group mind communication system. The hegemony of suns offered formal diplomatic acknowledgement. The Vorthan Archive transmitted cultural information packets as a gesture of friendship. Within minutes, Zixthara found herself in communication with more unknown alien species than the Council had contacted in the past century. All of them were here in human space working together. How is this possible? She asked Dr. Chen. We host regular diplomatic gatherings, he replied. This is actually a small meeting. Last month we had delegates from over 60 civilizations for our annual trade conference. The numbers were staggering. 60 civilizations working together, sharing technology and resources, coordinating their activities. The Council had spent thousands of years building relationships with 43 member species, and these humans had surpassed that achievement in less than 30 years. Ambassador, the sensor officer called out, I am detecting what appears to be a mobile shipyard. The construction capabilities appear to exceed anything in Council space. On the display, a massive structure became visible as its stealth systems deactivated. It was clearly artificial, a construction platform that could build entire fleets. Around it, partially completed ships hung in various stages of assembly. That is Shipyard Gamma, Dr. Chen explained. We are currently building vessels for our allies in the Nexus Collective. They provided the design specifications, we provide the construction facilities. You build ships for other species? Bektor asked. Of course. We also share technology, coordinate research projects, and work together on exploration missions. The galaxy is vast, and cooperation makes everyone stronger. Another voice joined the communication channel, this one speaking in perfect Council standard but with an accent Zixthara had never heard before. Council delegation. This is Admiral Chen Wei of the Terra Kethmori Joint Exploration Command. We are currently returning from a mapping expedition to the outer spiral regions. We have discovered 17 new civilizations in the past 6 months. 17 new civilizations. The Council's Exploration Division had not discovered a new intelligent species in over 200 years. Would you like to see our star charts? Dr. Chen asked politely. The main display changed to show a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy. But this map was far more detailed than anything in the Council databases. Entire regions that the Council had marked as empty space were shown filled with civilizations, trade routes, and diplomatic networks. We estimate there are at least 3,000 intelligent species in this galaxy. Dr. Chen continued. The Council has contacted fewer than 50 of them, 3,000 species. The number was almost beyond comprehension. If it was true, then the Council's understanding of galactic civilization was not just incomplete, it was almost irrelevant. Why are you showing us this? Zixthara asked. Dr. Chen's expression became more serious. Because we believe the Council could be an important part of galactic civilization. Your species have achieved stability and peace in your region. You have valuable experience in government and law. We would like to work with you. Work with us how? As partners, as equals. We could share our diplomatic networks with you, introduce you to civilizations you have never met. In exchange, you could share your governmental expertise and help us build better systems for managing such a large alliance. The offer was unprecedented. No species had ever offered the Council partnership on equal terms. The entire structure of the Council was based on their superiority over less advanced civilizations. I will need to discuss this with the Council leadership, Zixthara said. Naturally, please take all the time you need. We are patient people. As the human ships began to fade back into stealth mode and the Allied fleets prepared to disperse, Zixthara realized that everything had changed. The Council was no longer the dominant force in galactic civilization. They were just another group of species, hoping to find their place in a galaxy far larger and more complex than they had ever imagined. And the humans, these supposedly primitive creatures, had somehow become the center of it all. The emergency session of the Galactic Council High Command had been raging for 3 days. Ambassador Zixthara sat in her assigned chamber aboard the flagship, listening to the heated debates through the communication system. The Council's greatest minds were struggling to accept what she had reported. High Chancellor Vextarn of the Dominion Prime had been the most vocal opponent of believing the human claims. It is clearly an elaborate deception, he declared for the 100th time. No primitive species could achieve such things. They have somehow created false sensor readings and hired actors to play the parts of unknown species. But Admiral Quindara of the Military Command disagreed. The sensor data is authentic. I have analyzed every reading personally. The human vessels use technology we do not possess. Their stealth systems are superior to our own. Then they have stolen advanced technology from somewhere, Chancellor Vextarn replied. Perhaps the Kethmori Imperium has been compromised. Perhaps these unknown species are actually rebels who have stolen Council designs. Through it all, Zixthara felt growing frustration. The Council leadership was so convinced of their own superiority that they could not accept the truth even when presented with overwhelming evidence. The humans have requested another meeting, she announced when the debate paused. They say they have a formal proposal to present. Let them present it, said High Chancellor Vextarn confidently. We will show them the proper place of primitive species in galactic civilization. The second diplomatic meeting took place aboard a new human station, one that had been constructed in the 3 days since the first conference. The speed of construction impressed even Zixthara, who was becoming accustomed to human capabilities. Dr. James Chen sat across from the full Council delegation, which now included High Chancellor Vextarn himself and a dozen other senior officials. The humans had also expanded their delegation. Captain Vasquez was there, along with Dr. Williams and several new faces. We appreciate you taking the time to meet with us again. Dr. Chen began diplomatically. We understand this situation is unusual for the Council. Unusual is one word for it, High Chancellor Vextarn replied coldly. We are here to discuss your planet's integration into Council oversight and your species' eventual application for membership. The human delegation exchanged glances. Dr. Chen's expression remained polite, but Zixthara noticed a slight hardening around his eyes. High Chancellor, Dr. Chen said carefully, I think there may be some misunderstanding about the nature of this meeting. There is no misunderstanding, Vextarn declared. The Council is the legitimate government of this region of space. All intelligent species fall under our jurisdiction. Dr. Williams leaned forward. High Chancellor, with respect, that is not accurate. The Council governs Council space, which represents approximately 12% of inhabited galactic territory. Impossible, Vextarn snapped. The Council has been the dominant power in this galaxy for over 2,000 years. In this region of the galaxy, Captain Vasquez corrected. There are many other regions with many other governments. Dr. Chen activated a holographic display. We have prepared a formal presentation for your consideration. The hologram showed the galaxy as the humans understood it. Zixthara had seen this before, but the full Council delegation gasped as they realized the true scale of non-Council civilization. Vast territories marked in different colors showed the influence of various species groups, trade networks, and governmental systems. This cannot be correct, Admiral Quindara said, though her voice lacked conviction. We have verification from multiple independent sources, Dr. Chen replied. The Vorthan Archive has been mapping galactic civilization for over 5,000 years. Their records are extensive. New images appeared on the display, Photographs of massive space stations, cities that spanned entire moons, fleets that numbered in the thousands. None of it showed Council technology or Council species. The hegemony of suns controls over 400 star systems, Dr. Williams explained. The Nexus Collective has established colonies in 6 different spiral arms. The Kethmori Imperium has been spacefaring for longer than any species we have encountered. Why have we never contacted these civilizations? Vector asked. Because they have avoided you, Captain Vasquez said bluntly. Many species know about the Council. They choose not to make contact. High Chancellor Vextarn's face darkened. That is treason. All species are required to acknowledge Council authority. Required by whom? Dr. Chen asked mildly. The Council has authority over Council members. These species are not Council members. They have their own governments, their own laws, their own territories. The argument that followed was heated. The Council delegation insisted that their authority extended over all intelligent species, while the humans calmly pointed out that this authority existed only in Council law, not in galactic reality. This is irrelevant, High Chancellor Vextarn finally declared. The Council will extend its authority over these regions. We will bring order to the galaxy. With what? Dr. Williams asked. With our fleets, with our technology, with our superior governmental systems. Dr. Chen touched the holographic controls. New images appeared, showing the size of various galactic military forces. The numbers were sobering. The Council military commands approximately 43,000 vessels, he said. The Kethmori Imperium alone has over 200,000 ships. The combined fleets of the Terran Galactic Alliance number over 800,000 vessels. The silence that followed was profound. Even High Chancellor Vextarn seemed shaken by the numbers. That is still irrelevant, he said finally. Military force is not the answer. The Council will negotiate from a position of moral authority. What moral authority? Captain Vasquez asked. The authority to force species to adopt your governmental system? The authority to impose your laws on civilizations that never agreed to them? We bring order and stability, Admiral Quindara protested. To species that want it, Dr. Chen agreed. But what about species that prefer their own systems? What about civilizations that have achieved peace and prosperity without Council guidance? More images appeared on the display. Worlds where multiple species lived and worked together in harmony. Space stations where dozens of different alien races conducted trade and diplomacy. Research facilities where scientists from various civilizations collaborated on advanced projects. This is the Nexus Collective's diplomatic center, Dr. Williams explained. Representatives from over 300 species meet here regularly to resolve disputes and coordinate activities. 300 species, Zixthera whispered. And this is just one of several such centers throughout the galaxy. Dr. Chen added. The presentation continued for hours. The humans showed example after example of successful interspecies cooperation, advanced civilizations, and peaceful governmental systems. None of it involved the Council. Finally, Dr. Chen reached the core of their proposal. The Council has achieved something remarkable in your region of space, he said. You have created stability, prosperity, and peace among diverse species. These are valuable accomplishments, but, High Chancellor Vextarn asked suspiciously, but your approach does not work for everyone. Many species prefer different governmental systems. Some value independence over security. Others have cultural reasons for avoiding centralized authority. Dr. Williams took over. We propose a new approach. Instead of extending Council authority over unwilling species, we suggest creating a cooperative alliance of equal partners. Equal partners? Admiral Quindara asked. The Council would maintain authority over Council space and Council members, Captain Vasquez explained. But you would also participate in galactic civilization as an equal partner with other governmental systems. Dr. Chen activated new displays showing proposed organizational structures. We call it the Galactic Cooperation Initiative. Multiple governments working together to address common challenges while respecting each other's sovereignty. The proposal was elegant and detailed. Trade agreements that respected different economic systems. Diplomatic protocols that accommodated various cultural needs. Military cooperation that did not require unified command structures. You are asking us to give up our rightful authority, High Chancellor Vextarn said. We are asking you to recognize reality, Dr. Chen replied gently. The Council never had authority over the entire galaxy. You only thought you did because you had limited contact with non-council civilizations. And if we refuse? Admiral Quindara asked. Dr. Williams smiled sadly. Then you will continue to govern your 12% of galactic space, while the remaining 88% develops without you. You will become increasingly isolated and irrelevant. The final words hung in the air like a death sentence. The Council, for all its power and pride, faced a choice between adaptation and extinction. And the humans, these supposedly primitive creatures, held all the cards. 6 months after the first contact, Ambassador Zixithera stood in her new office aboard Unity Station, the massive diplomatic complex that had become the headquarters of the Terran Galactic Alliance. Through the transparent aluminum windows, she could see ships from dozens of different civilizations coming and going in perfect coordination. Her title had changed. She was no longer Ambassador of the Galactic Council. Now she was Deputy Cultural Liaison for the Regional Administrative Division of the Terran Galactic Alliance. The former Galactic Council had voted, after much debate and several angry resignations, to join the human-led alliance as a junior partner. The decision had not been easy. High Chancellor Vextarn had fought against it until the very end, insisting that the Council should maintain its independent authority. But when 3 more Council member species had announced their intention to leave and join the Terran Alliance directly, the remaining leadership had finally accepted reality. Deputy Liaison Zixithera, came a voice from her communication system. The morning briefing is about to begin. She made her way to the central conference room, a space that could accommodate representatives from over 50 different species simultaneously. The environmental controls were more advanced than anything the Council had ever developed, creating perfect atmospheric conditions for each delegate. Dr. James Chen, now serving as Secretary General of Diplomatic Affairs for the Alliance, stood at the center of the room. Around him sat beings from across the galaxy, representing civilizations that 6 months ago had been unknown to the Council. Good morning, everyone, Dr. Chen began. Let us review today's agenda. The efficiency was remarkable. In the past 6 months, Zixithera had watched the humans coordinate diplomatic activities on a scale that dwarfed anything the Council had ever attempted. Today's agenda included trade negotiations between the Kethmori Imperium and the Outer Rim Confederacy, mediation of a territorial dispute between 2 species in the Andromeda Contact Zone, and planning for a joint exploration mission to the galactic core. First item, Dr. Chen continued, the Velkari-Tomaran conflict. Ambassador Williams? Dr. Sarah Williams, now serving as Senior Mediation Specialist, stood to address the assembly. The situation has been resolved. Both species have accepted our proposed compromise regarding the disputed asteroid belt. They have also agreed to joint mining operations. Zixithera felt a familiar sense of amazement. The Velkari-Tomaran conflict had been raging for over 3 centuries. The Council had attempted mediation 17 times over the past 200 years, always failing to reach a satisfactory solution. The humans had resolved it in 2 weeks. How did you manage it? Asked Ambassador Keltoth of the Spiral Commerce Guild. Dr. Williams smiled. We discovered that both species were fighting over the asteroids because they needed the rare minerals for their respective religious ceremonies. Instead of trying to divide the asteroids, we helped them develop synthetic alternatives that work just as well for their spiritual needs. The solution was elegant in its simplicity. Instead of fighting over limited resources, the humans had eliminated the scarcity that caused the conflict. It was the approach the Council had never considered. Next item, Dr. Chen announced, trade volume reports. The numbers were staggering. Galactic trade volume had increased by 340% since the formation of the Alliance. New trade routes connected previously isolated civilizations. Revolutionary technologies spread rapidly between species that had never communicated before. The Nexus, Collective's quantum computing technology, is now available to all Alliance members, reported Captain Vasquez, who had been promoted to Director of Technology Exchange. In return, they have requested access to our gravitational manipulation techniques. Zixithera remembered, when the Council had spent decades trying to convince the Nexus Collective to share even basic information about their technology. The humans had achieved full technological exchange in months simply by offering equal partnership instead of demanding submission. Third item, Dr. Chen continued, new member applications. This was perhaps the most impressive aspect of the Alliance's success. Species were volunteering to join at an unprecedented rate. 7 civilizations had submitted membership applications just this week, including 2 that had previously been hostile to any form of galactic cooperation. The hegemony of suns has completed their integration process, announced Director Kim Park of Member Services. They are now full alliance partners with voting rights and technology-sharing privileges. The hegemony of suns had been one of the most militaristic civilizations in the galaxy. They had viewed other species as either threats to be conquered or resources to be exploited. Yet under human diplomatic guidance, they had transformed into cooperative partners within months. How do you do it? Zixithera found herself asking. Dr. Chen looked at her with genuine curiosity. Do what, Deputy Liaison? Transform aggressive civilizations into peaceful partners so quickly. Change enemies into friends. Resolve conflicts that have lasted for centuries. The human smiled. We listen. We find out what people really want. Beneath all the posturing and demands, usually they want the same basic things: security, prosperity, respect, and the freedom to live according to their own values. But the hegemony of suns wanted conquest, Zixithera pointed out. No, Dr. Williams interjected. They wanted security. They conquered other species because they were afraid of being conquered themselves. When we showed them how to achieve security through cooperation instead of domination, they changed their approach immediately. It sounded so simple when the humans explained it, but Zixithera knew it represented a fundamental shift in how galactic diplomacy worked. The Council had always focused on establishing rules and enforcing compliance. The humans focused on understanding needs and finding creative solutions. Final item for today, Dr. Chen announced, exploration reports. Commander Torres, head of the Alliance Exploration Division, stood to present her findings. Deep space probe missions have identified 23 new civilizations this month. 12 have expressed interest in contact. 4 have already requested preliminary diplomatic meetings. 23 new civilizations in 1 month. The Council's Exploration Division had not discovered that many intelligent species in the past century. We have also received an interesting communication from the Galactic Core region, Commander Torres continued. There appears to be a massive civilization there that we have never contacted. They are requesting formal diplomatic contact. The room buzzed with excitement. The Galactic Core was largely unexplored, considered too dangerous for routine travel. If there was indeed a major civilization there, it could represent the most significant discovery in galactic history. We are organizing a joint expedition, Dr. Chen announced. The Kethmori Imperium has offered to provide advanced ships capable of core region travel. The Nexus Collective will provide navigation expertise. Several council species have volunteered scientific personnel. Zixithera felt a moment of pride that council expertise was still valued, even in their diminished role. But it was quickly replaced by amazement at the scale of cooperation the humans had achieved. As the meeting concluded, and delegates began to disperse, Zixithera approached Dr. Chen. Secretary General, she said, I have a question that has been troubling me. Please, ask anything. Why did you include the Council in your alliance? We had nothing to offer that you could not get elsewhere. We were actually obstacles to your diplomatic success. Dr. Chen considered the question carefully. You are wrong about having nothing to offer. The Council has 2,000 years of experience in governmental administration. You have legal frameworks that have maintained peace among diverse species. You have institutional knowledge that is invaluable. But we failed to expand beyond our small region of space. You succeeded brilliantly in your region, Dr. Chen corrected. Your mistake was believing that your success could be replicated everywhere through force. Some species need different approaches. He gestured toward the bustling activity around them. Ships from hundreds of civilizations were docking, trading, conducting diplomacy, and sharing knowledge. Look around you, he said. This is not just human success. This is the success of every species working together, each contributing their unique strengths. The Council's governmental expertise, the Kethmori's advanced technology, the Nexus Collective's computational power, the Hegemony's military discipline, all working together. Zixithera looked around the station and realized he was right. The alliance was not human domination disguised as cooperation. It was genuine partnership, with humans serving as coordinators rather than rulers. How did your species become so skilled at diplomacy? she asked. Dr. Chen laughed. Practice. Humans have been negotiating with each other for thousands of years. We had to learn cooperation the hard way, through centuries of conflict and war. When we finally developed effective diplomatic techniques, we were ready to apply them on a galactic scale. That evening, as Zixthara prepared her daily report, she reflected on how much had changed. 6 months ago, she had been a representative of what she believed was the galaxy's dominant power. Now she knew better. The galaxy was vast and complex, filled with wonders and civilizations beyond imagination.